Whew, what a day, very busy day today. Beautiful day, spring day, had a really great day, and I've just got about half an hour now for a cup of tea to have a chat about my various projects. So I think this will be a lockdown video, hopefully the last one actually, because we're going to have lockdown ending soon with a bit of luck, so we can start to move forward again. And I'm actually surrounded right now with boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. Wiring, bits of Kawasaki, more wiring. In the back here I've just got no room at all, it's just packed full of stuff because I've been moving things from my conservatory at the back of the house into the garage, and it's just ridiculous. There's so much stuff I've been buying, nuts and bolts, wiring, God knows what else. So I thought before I kick, I thought to myself, I've got to get a hold of this, it's just getting a bit mad. So I'm not sure you can tell, but at the back here, on the back wall, I've now fitted 3 shelves. Did that yesterday, and I've got another 3 shelves coming today. And I think what I'm going to do is remove these red shelving here, which is a bit of a pain, they're not very good. And instead, I'm going to have shelving all the way around the top of the walls. And hopefully that should give me enough storage for what I need to do. And along with those shelving, I've also been buying some new storage boxes over there. Don't think you can see it, let me get up and show you. Let me just check. We've got, look over there, you can see those Reco bins. I'm actually quite happy with that. They're steel sides with plastic trays, and they're about £25 each. Pretty happy with that. In fact, I might even buy some more of them. Yeah, so it's been a great day, and it's also been a great time because lots of good things happening at the moment after a long boring winter when nothing much happens. Sun's shining, and I've had some really good news recently. The first one of those is that I've got a new bike project on the way. This is not one I've mentioned before, and thanks to the generosity of one of my subscribers, that's Mike in Hull. If you're watching this, thank you very much. But I can't talk about it just yet because it will ruin the sort of surprise going forward. But yeah, that's going to be a new project, a very quick project hopefully, with a great ending with a bit of luck. So that's something to look forward to in the next month or so. Also, what's been happening is, it's funny because there are weeks and months when not much happens, when you're waiting for things, you're waiting for a supplier, for parts to come in, for a painter to finish his work and so on. And then suddenly it all sort of happens, and then things roll forward very quickly. And that's what's happening at the moment. Because as you can see behind me, I've got my Guzzi back from the conservatory. I've got some space now, so I've got a tank on it. And I did post a photograph of the bike with the seat unit in place, just gently placed in there by hand, because I've not yet fitted the all the mounting hardware. Yeah, so next up then is to finish the wiring, which is why I've got all these boxes of wiring here, just vast amounts of wiring and whatever. So I've got to sort that out first, sort out my garage first and make some space, get everything organised, nice and neat and tidy, and then we can make some good progress with the Guzzi. Because after all, the sun's shining and spring is here, and summer won't be far behind. Hang on, let me just drink some tea. Yeah, what else is going on? We made a video last week about the new Mark II Big Bore 1400 Kawasaki project I'm just about to start. And in fact, I've got my very first part I just bought for that. It's here. This is a part of the starter, clutch, and what I've learned from doing my Z650/1170 project is something I really already knew, but it's been, you know, reinforced, and that's when you buy or try and build an engine like a Kawasaki Z, and you start off with basically the cases and a block and a head, and that's it. It costs an absolute fortune to buy all the ancillaries, to buy a starter motor, a starter clutch, a starter idler gear, charging system, rotor, you know, stator, rectifiers, getting the head rebuilt, new valves, new seals, you name it. It just costs a huge amount of money. The only slight good thing about all that is when you finish the engine and it's in the bike, it's basically a brand new engine. So in fact it's better than new because it's more powerful and has more modern tech on it. So touch wood, that's all pretty much ongoing now. Although that said, it's not as bad as building a Harley, for example, or an old Ducati, because spare parts of those are absolutely extortionate, and a Kawasaki Z is not quite that bad. Yeah, so I am kind of prepared for some large bills when it comes to the new Z1400 Mark II engine, which is about to get started. And in fact, this very week, the cases are going to be checked and the blocks are going to be checked, and then they're going to go to Triple S, who normally just do my powder coating, but recently they've started doing ceramic coating too, like cam coat. And the good news is, when I call them up, I said, look, do you do anything other than gloss black? Because I don't want gloss black. And that's the only option you get with cam coat for a ceramic finish. He said, yeah, we do two, we do three in fact. We do satin, gloss, and something called, what was it? Velvet black. Velvet black. And he said that's what we recommend for engine cases, because it really looks like an OE finish. I said, great, we'll have that then. So those cases and block are going off to Triple S in Bingley in Yorkshire soon, I think tomorrow or next day, and to have that finish. When they come back, we can then make a start on building up the bottom end. And we really do have to start, because the crank for that engine is currently in bits. It's all been dismantled, so we need to rebuild a crank, and that's something actually that Jeff can do. He's very good at that. It's one of his sort of bread and butter jobs, and so that shouldn't be too much of a problem or too much of a delay. And if you watch my last video again about the Mark II project, you'll know that as part of the deal, you know, I've got a huge selection of spares. I've got like three or four gearboxes, so we can pick the best parts from those 3 or 4 gearboxes and build one good gearbox, and so on. Yeah, so I've actually started, as I just said, started by parts for that engine, even though it's not required yet, just to sort of spread out the cost a little bit. Yes, that's all going quite well. What is going on? Yes, I was going to have the fork stanchions replaced with fork stanchions that had been coated with, let's get this right, titanium nitride, which is a gold finish. But as it turns out, Guzzi, who supplies such things, don't make that particular finish for that particular bike. So the supplier said to me, no problem, we can buy a standard set of Guzzi stanchions to fit your bike, and then we can get them titanium nitrided for you. Okay, great. How much is that? Well, it's, you've got to pay £144 per stanchion, which isn't too bad. But then it's an extra, but then it's an extra £303 to add that gold finish. And I thought, oh well, I don't want it that bad. I was always a bit unsure about it. It's a bit showy for me, so I'm quite happy to carry on and use my stanchions I've already got, which are good stanchions, you know, they're fine. So now we can move forward and get that front end built up now, since we're not going to change the stanchions. Yes, that's something else that's happening. What else has been going on? Oh yes, we'll go back to the Guzzi now and talk about that, because things are happening with that too. So let me put my cup of tea away and I'll go and get a box of bits. Okay, so here's that small box of parts, which have come from Guzzi Bits, the UK specialist for Guzzi Bits, of course. And we've got a new Tomaselli throttle and grip. We've got the matching cables. And I've also got a pair of fuel taps, left hand side and where are we? Right hand side. Now I do already have a set of petcocks, but they're pretty damn old and attached to another tank, so I thought, no, we'll just get some new ones. Yeah, now the reason why I've got a rather nice Tomaselli new throttle and grip is because I don't like the one I've already got, and it's brand new. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's also a Tomaselli behind me here, but it works the way a standard Guzzi would work, which I didn't like. And to tell you why I don't like it, I'll have to explain how a standard Guzzi throttle works. Because what happens is, you get one cable from the throttle, it then goes into a splitter, which is underneath the tank, which then splits into 2 more cables, which go on to the 2 carburetors. And I never liked that idea, because down here, I'm not sure you can see it, but this is the splitter. And it's quite simple actually, it works quite well, but I don't like it. What you do is, it's got inside, you unscrew it, and gives over here, and it takes 1 cable at one end and 2 cables at the other end. So obviously then you put it in there, it's all greased up, and when you pull the single cable, it moves the 2 at the back. And I don't like that, because A, it's adding 2 or 3 more junctions, if you like, of points of failure. Yeah, and also I think this thing contributes to the very heavy throttle that Guzzis tend to have. It's not going to help, is it? It's you know, it's just adding more friction, more stiction, and if any muck gets in there, it's going to jam up and be all sort of, well, it's not going to help, is it? So, to get rid of that, I need to buy a new Tomaselli throttle, and this is made to take twin cables, not a single cable. So therefore I've got twin cables here and a twin cable throttle, so I'm going to change that over soon, and hopefully, you know, that will help the looks of the bike, and also lighten that throttle, which will be quite helpful I think. And as I just mentioned, I do already have some petcocks, but they're attached to a different tank. And the tank they're attached to is from a Le Mans Mark 4 or 5 I think, which came with the bike when I first bought it all those years ago. And in fact, something I've not mentioned before I think, or not shown you before, is that I built that bike almost completely once before starting again. And this was before I made YouTube videos, so you've not seen that before. And the reason why I decided to start again was because I just didn't like how it was looking. It looked okay, but not really what I wanted to do. So we'll start again, which I did. And it was sort of at the beginning of that process that I started to make videos about this Guzzi in particular. And to be fair, that's one reason why this old Guzzi has been taking so long to finish, because I actually built it twice. And to prove that, I'll show you some pictures now of the bike, how it looked in that sort of first iteration. And here they are. And now I've just moved the camera slightly so you can see behind me at the complete mess my garage is in right now. So I've got a lot of work to do yet to sort all that out. But I'm going to start, as I say, by fitting those 3 shelves at the back of the garage there. And so now, before we finish, I'll get that seat and rest it on the bike, and so you can see how it looks. And then I can crack on and continue with my tidying up and fitting shelving and so on. So let's do that now. And as I mentioned before, the seat unit doesn't have its mounts yet, so I just need to very carefully rest it in where it should roughly be once the mounts are all in place. Roughly there without scratching anything. Let me just make sure it's lined up. It's sort of something like that. So hopefully, there we go. Give it a level. Right, there you go. Put it very carefully. Don't move now. I've also, of course, got the cockpit fairing here, the Le Mans Mark 1 fairing. I can't really fit that yet. In fact, I've got the brackets in place, but it's such an awful job to try and mount the damn thing. I'm going to wait until I've got some help, because I really don't want to try and force it on and scratch the damn paintwork. Yeah, so I'm actually very pleased with that. And also here's the seat base, which still needs to be upholstered, of course. That's been waiting for lockdown to end, but hopefully we can make some progress with that quite soon. And in fact, I need to have this bolted to the seat unit to get the mounts in place, so that's why I've not done it yet. Yeah, so let me just very carefully take this off here and put it back somewhere safe. Yes, there you are. So my big job in March is going to be to finish the wiring and hopefully get the damn thing fired up. But first I've got to clear out all the junk in here, tidy everything up, get myself organised, and yeah, I don't think it'll be a lot easier to work in here. So let me move this out of the way. Okay, well, I've run out of tea, so I think we'll have to call it quits there. So this has been quite a quick video and a quick run through of all the various projects I'm working on right now. And it might seem like I've got not much to show you, but honestly there is quite a lot going on elsewhere, at Jeff's workshop, at Leslie's workshop, in various places around the country. And yeah, we should see a lot more progress in a week or two's time. And by then, who knows, I might even be able to start finishing off the wiring on this damn thing. But first, I've got to sort out my workshop, because right now it's looks like a bomb hit it. And I'll make a start with that right now. But first I'll get some more tea and then I can crack on. Anyway, thanks for watching and cheers.